Good morning and happy Saturday. Welcome to the Paradigm Shift, episode 125. 125 weeks in a row. Consistency, a superpower accessible to everybody. Uncle Dave, I see you. We're going to bring you on right now. Let's kick this party off. We're 3 days out from the reinvention formula. Who's grabbed their copy? I'm so pumped about this. It's surreal. I'm actually emotional. We have a very special guest on today as well, guys. We're going to bring on Son in less than 5 minutes. Son, I see one, less than 5. Everybody say hello to my mom, Helene Siegel, in the chat, please, if you'd be so kind. What's up, Jen? Reggie, Alex, Ken's, Kim, everybody's out today. Fantastic stuff. Big Dave.
Craig,
how you
sweaty
doing?
Mess.
I am a sweaty mess. How you doing, you sex goose?
I'm doing good, man. I just have to tell you, I love seeing you for a few moments, but you took off before I had a whole thing on the reinvention formula, and I have no idea like why you took off before I could promote your book. So whoever was on there, whoever's on here, you know, I owe him a promotion. We're giving away on my side some reinvention formulas. So email me, david@dmeltzer.com, and I will send you that expensive, well worth it book, and we'll get that out to you right away. You'll learn the inner quality and quantitative value of the incredible eagle, Craig Siegel, and anyone that can get his mom to come on to his lives, you know he's bringing it better than anybody else. So congratulations. I've never been able to do that, so you're a better man than me. And my mom loves me too much, so I don't know how you do it.
Thank you, Uncle Dave. I love you. I had a meeting at 10. I have a crazy schedule right now, but I wanted to make sure I saw you. I didn't realize you were going to do that, and I also didn't want to interrupt, but it was so good to see you regardless. How was New York?
Oh, man. You know, I told Jake, who works with me, for those that don't know, I nicknamed him Jakey Bakey because he turns up the heat and creates turnovers there in the bakery. He's the man, and he's baking it up, making everything sweet for me. But imagine this, from Monday at 5 a.m. till Friday at 8 a.m. Monday, California time at 5 a.m. till Friday morning at 8 a.m. So not even 5 days, basically 4 days, 4 days accordingly. That with the help of my team, we had 6 episodes filmed of our Apple TV show, 2 Minute Drill. We had 4 coaching calls a day. We had our group coaching sessions. We had multiple interviews on top of it. We had our lives. We had all of the meetups. We had 3 different meetups. We had 3, count them, 3 VIP dinners in 4-day period. 3, all like the who's who of everything. You had from Guru Dev to John Asseroff to Ryan Serhant, even at our meeting with Gary Vee. The list goes on and on and on. Forbes Riley and a major, and my newest friend is the star of the TV show All American on Netflix, Hunter Clotis. But there's so many people, I can't even mention them all. Rob Gills and Sean Dills, and they all rhyme together. But out of all that we did, you know who I missed the most? Yeah. Yes, that's right. The Eagle. The Eagle is launching his book, and I missed him. We're promoting it wherever we can. You need to learn how to expand and reinvent. But I will tell you, that's the most productive 4 days of the activity I get paid for in my entire career. And I couldn't have done it without friends like you and, of course, my team members, all of them. Incredible. The amount of content we did in those 4 days was extraordinary. So anyway, up to the paradigm shift. What do you got for me, my brother?
Yeah, I love all this, and there's nobody better in the world at optimizing time. It's unbelievable. I'm going to ask you one fun one, and then we're going to dive in. We have a very special guest on today that I think our communities might not be familiar with. I'm super excited to introduce him. Dave, tell me about the Yes and Vet.
The Yes and
Vet.
Oh, Trust and Vet. Yes.
Yes.
Trust and Vet is same as Yes Invest. So, you know, a whole bunch of my career, I always said I trust people too much. And my wife would reinforce that on me. Oh, you trusted that person, they screwed you over. And it wasn't until I lost everything, which is now, thank goodness, far behind me. 15 and a half years ago, I lost over $100 million, went bankrupt, that I realized one thing, that we're supposed to trust people, but we need to have a reinvention formula of trust. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about, if I trust Craig Siegel immensely, then I feel comfortable asking him hard questions. I ask Craig Siegel hard questions all the time, uncomfortable questions. And sometimes, and tell me if this has happened to you, Craig, that I've gone in deals and I knew the person was not aligned with me, and I didn't ask the uncomfortable questions. And then I ended up blaming that person when the truth came out for what I didn't ask. So I believe that part and parcel to trust is that when we truly trust someone, like I truly trust my mom, I ask her really vulnerable, hard, uncomfortable questions, not because I don't trust her, because I do trust my relationship, that she knows that I'm just trying to get clarification and alignment so I can provide as much value to her and she can provide as much value to me. So once I adopted this trust and vet philosophy, my life had changed because I took responsibility for all the mistakes. I took accountability and attraction, and I changed my perception. I reinvented through the reinvention formula what trust means and how to vet people when I trust and love them, like I trust and love you, which is why I ask you uncomfortable questions to make us both better. So not only I can help you more, but you can help me. And that's what people, I think, really get caught up. You end up, not asking the questions you should, and then blaming the person for you not asking the hard questions.
Yeah, ownership and accountability come to mind right there.
Absolutely, my friend. And it's all over your book, by the way. So make sure, if you're interested in how to trust and vet, you buy the reinvention formula.
Hell yeah.
Or email me and I'll give you one for free, david@dmeltzer.com.
And they're not cheap.
I'll pay for them. They're not cheap. I want everybody to know that it's not like my book. When I give my book away it's cheap. Like, it does not cost me that much. Shipping costs more than the book, I think. But when I'm giving away Craig Siegel's book, woo, you're digging deep into my pocket.
Love it. Son, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Hi, Craig. Hi, David.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me.
How you doing?
Good.
It's great to connect with you. I'm a fan, and for our audience, a community that might not have been familiar, our biggest suggestion is do a deep dive, play catch up. We're just gonna have some fun today and rock and roll. You ready to get nuts?
Yeah, ready.
There's a lot of frequency here that's similar with Dave and you, and I'm excited to dive in. I saw you talking about this when I was checking out a piece of your content. I thought it was really cool. And that is, some people believe that comfort and pleasure is the same as happiness, but it's not. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I think I was talking about how, like, nowadays, I feel like we have so many options and so many, everyone has so many passions that, we want to go after everything. But the reality, for me, what I found is that I can actually be passionate about I can be passionate about washing the dishes if I'm just putting all my passion into it. And sometimes we don't realize that we can be passionate about something as long as we do it with pride, do it with joy, and try to really do a good job, rather than just trying to take it easy, doing the bare minimum. Like, every job that I had, I always went to. It doesn't matter what like my first job I had, it was a design agency, and they wouldn't let me design the website. They would only let me design emails. But I designed the shit out of that email. Like, I literally my goal was to design the best email in the world. And by the end of the year, we became known for like email designs. So I think a lot of us just don't really understand that, the easy way to do it is not the way to go. Like, whatever, it doesn't matter what the task is.
Yeah, David, smiling.
I'm chomping at the bit, because this is the secret sauce, in my opinion, to living your life in the pursuit of your potential, in the enjoyment of the pursuit of your potential. And I'm going to share a quick story, Craig, if it's okay. I hated taking the trash out. We had 6 kids. I don't know why I got anointed the trash taker outer in my family, but we had 5 boys and 1 girl, and that job sucked. And because I put the energy into it negatively, that I hate taking the trash out, everybody always asked me to take the trash out. When I went to college, I was the smallest football player in my fraternity. So of course they made me take the trash out. That was extremely disgusting. Then God gave me 3 daughters who refused to take the trash out, and I had to take the trash out. And then I learned from you this idea of how to apply my why to whatever I do. And let me explain what I do. I started looking at the trash, and instead of taking it out with anger and hate and resentment and guilt, and then I throw it and it spill on me and it would cut me if there was glass in there, all of a sudden I looked at the trash differently. And I said to myself, what does the trash represent to me? It represents an opportunity to have a little bit of time to think about, meditate on what I do want. What a great opportunity taking the trash out was. I actually started taking the trash out more and taking longer. And here's the interesting thing, because I started thinking about what would make me happy when I took the trash out. It was an accountability partner, not a punishment. And so my accountability partner was, hey, you haven't thought about what makes you happy. Every time you take the trash out, I want you to think about what makes you happy. My energy changed so much on my trash that all of a sudden, weirdly enough, my 3 prima donna daughters all of a sudden said, hey, Dad, I'll take that out for you. That's energy. Because your energy shifts, all of a sudden, their innate being says, hey, why does he feel so I think I'll take that out for him, instead of, who's going to, it's like tasting food and you go like this. Oh, this is the worst thing ever. You want to try it? No one's going to try it. But if you're like, this is the most delicious piece of fruit I've ever had, everyone in the room's going to like, can I have a bite? Let people not only be inspired and apply their why, but encourage them and inspire them to take a bite of your fruit.
Yeah, beautiful. Decide. On the same page, son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of alignment, and it's a great analogy. I love this. There's only place we can take this conversation. We're all entrepreneurs. This week I dealt with a lot of unpredictability, and I had to kind of navigate that. And Son, I see you talk about that a lot too. Just navigating the emotional highs and lows that really come with life, but specifically entrepreneurship. How do you personally navigate those?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a muscle, right? The more you, like, what I realized when I first started my business, when I first started freelancing, like when you first start, you're like all excited, tell all your family and friends about it. You're like, okay, you get your first client, wow. And then reality hits, and then it goes back to kind of like, like the normal emotion, right? But at that point, I felt like I was at the lowest point, because I'm like, oh, I thought everything was working out, but it's not like what I hoped for. And at that moment, I just kept going through, and I was almost like a week away from having to go find a job. But then I got a client, and then I got another client, and it just took off. And then that's how I built my agency. And then it went down again. And then like my emotion kept going up and down and up, and like I went through these peaks and valleys. But what I realized is that even on those down moments, like something was being built underneath it. And when I shifted to like this new career where I'm growing my following and teaching, the same thing. So like, for example, right now I feel like I'm going through one of those down moments, but I know that deep inside, something is still being built. And I guess kind of having that faith, like whenever I go through ups and downs, it's not real. It's just my emotions. And I know that things are happening behind the scenes and things like that. And that helps me just get through it. So like I've gotten so used to the roller coaster now that it doesn't hurt me as much as like the first time I felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. I felt like I was in the dark, like just, is this even working? Is this not working? I have no idea. But now just have faith that as long as I'm making progress, it's working. And eventually I'll go back to the peak.
And also, Dave, everything's compounding, right?
Yeah, I think, shifting my paradigm of understanding that I am, instead of I'm trying to get more happy, more healthy, more wealthy, more worthy. So understanding every day, even when you're not launching a book, every day on average, we get kicked in the face about 8 times. And most of us spend days, weeks, months, and years whining about getting kicked in the face, or worse, agitating others to kick us in the face because we're whining, worrying, and bringing and attracting these things to us. So I've shifted the paradigm to I am happy, healthy, wealthy, and worthy. What am I doing to interfere with it? So when I get kicked in the face, instead of resisting it, instead of going over, under, through it, around it, lying to it, cheating it, manipulating it, whatever I used to do, all I do is stop, because I breathe through my nose, out through my mouth. As notating, I am part and parcel of this unified, abundant system of thought, an omniscient, all-powerful source that I'm part of. I have more power in my pinky to light up all of Manhattan behind you, Craig. And yet I interfere with it so much, I barely sometimes can wake up in the morning or go work out. How can that be possible? So once I shifted my paradigm, my attention and intention to equal the karma, and you know what karma means? I know you guys know, but it means action. It equals the coincidences, the coinciding of my actions with what I want. And in order to do so, we need to clear the interference and understand the interference, and only spend minutes and moments, not days, weeks, months, and years in that interference. So that muscle, and I use golf as my analogy, I practice every day getting back to center. I practice identifying the fear of the past or fear of the future. I identify the ego-based consciousness. I prescribe to it like an evil medicine that just makes me sicker, instead of the power that I already have. So that's a great way of describing what our friends always talk about. We all articulate it in a different way. It's all the exact same stuff.
Dave, you're fired up today. I love it.
I'm back from New York, man. I got reinvented, and I used the formula.
It's that New York energy. Like every time I'm in New York, I even love the smell of the trash. Like I love the loud noise. Like
That's awesome. So where are you now? Where are you dialing in from?
I go back and forth between New York and Austin.
Oh,
so I have an agency in New York, and I also I just recently moved here, so I just go back and forth.
Is the agency, is that Night Owls?
Yeah, so I have an agency called Night Owls, and I also have an online community called Night Owl Nation.
It's a good community, by the way, and a lot of great people. Surrounding yourself with the right people and the right ideas. I always judge people not by what I think of them, it's what I see around them. And when I see a community like Night Owls, you know who the person is. It's kind of like the paradigm community that Craig has, all great people, and just blessed to hopefully serve anyone's community as well, to build our joint community of people who want to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I have two final questions before we land the plane, Dave. One thing that all three of us humbly have done very well is build a personal brand. In 2023, not only is it so advantageous and opportunistic, but it's become very trendy. Son, what would you suggest to someone that sees what we're doing and they see the opportunities and wants to start a personal brand, but they don't even know how or where to get started? What's a good thing that they can apply immediately to try to start building a personal brand?
Yeah, first I'll start with kind of, one of the things that I noticed, I work with a lot of personal brands, like, I don't know if you guys know Jay Shetty, Mark Randolph, Gabby Bernstein. And one of the things I noticed about all the kind of ones that are doing well is the more successful they are, like the more humility they have. And that was kind of like something that I really noticed over the last 10 years. So number one, I would say, come from like a humble place where you're a beginner, not just trying to be an expert and, trying to teach everything, but like learning as you go. And another thing is, like, those people they talk and sound exactly the same on camera as they are in real life. There's really no two different personas. Whereas when I see a lot of new personal brands that are trying to build, and we've had clients where we try to, get them on the Today Show and get all the publicities, but for some reason they're not growing. And what I noticed is, for example, when I see somebody like Mel Robbins recording a video, all of her attention is, okay, what is the content that I'm providing? And her attention is on the audience. How can I provide value? So she's constantly thinking about the audience, right? Whereas in someone who's not as successful, when I see them, they're like, oh, is my hair okay? Oh, how's the set look? Like they're worried about all the attention is on them, right? So it's counterintuitive, but actually to build a personal brand, your attention cannot be on you. It has to be on the people, on the audience, on your students, whatever, whoever you're serving.
Now that's a paradigm shift, Dave.
Yeah, I should be using Night Owl because with hair like this, I need to focus. I need to focus in on the audience of what they're listening for, and those are all friends of mine, and have blessed to share stages with those people and have them on my podcast. But I'll tell you the one thing that happens as a precursor to that, and for all those people starting a brand, I think they miss this. You have actually need to know who you are, and I've tried to clarify, because the word authentic turns, so common, it confuses people. When I'm helping people to start understanding brand, and I've always been the guy behind the personal brands, the Lee Steinberg, the Steve Youngs, and the Troy Aikmans, the Warren Moons, the Vander Holyfields, all those people, I was only worried about teaching them what I knew, because I never thought that people like us could even have a brand, that you need to be able to throw a football or hit a home run or knock somebody out to get a brand, or entertain on a big movie. But it's really three things. If you get a good guide on your own skills, because combined with the knowledge of what you know and who you know, and your desire, your frequency, if you consistently know that, then you'll be able to amplify that in a quantitative value to the audience. And if you look at those people, Mark, who I know very well, Gabby fairly well, and Jay pretty well, they all have unique skills, unique knowledge of who and what, and unique desire, unique frequency. They're very different people. And when I went on my very first TV show, guys, I had a very famous director and producer, and I was the host of Entrepreneur's Elevator Pitch, and all these great people. And I told the guy, I said, so what am I supposed to be like on here? And he looked at me and goes, if you're not yourself, David, you're going to be exhausted. This show will never last, and you will never last. So the only advice I give you is don't hold back. Be yourself. 10% of the people are going to love you. 10% are going to hate you automatically. And the other 80% will get to know you, and you'll keep gathering 10% of those people who get to know you. And the more you're available and the more they're aware of you, the 10% will aggregate. And in the next 20 years, you will have a huge audience for you comparatively to 7.6 billion people that are available for you. So sorry for taking a little bit of time. But now I know why the people you represent are so successful, because there's very few people in the industry that get it, and you definitely get it. So thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. I couldn't agree more. One final nugget, guys, and sign up. When I was checking your content, I saw you write this, and I know Dave talks about this a lot, so it'll hit home, and I think the audience could use it today. And that is, the need to impress others is unimpressive. Tell us what you mean by that.
Yeah, I guess, okay, here's a story, right? In the beginning of my career, whenever I go to a client meeting, I would research them. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. And that would impress them. I'm going to tell them about the awards that we want. And I would literally not get anything from them. And what ended up happening is I started when I started learning meditation and stuff, I would meditate for 5 minutes before a meeting. And what happened was the focus has shifted from me to them, right? So I guess similar to what I was saying before, I would go in the meeting and all of my attention is on them. And I'm not trying to impress them at all. But then immediately then what happened was, now I'm really interested in what they have to hear and what they're worried about and how I can help them, right? And at the end of that meeting, even though I literally didn't say anything, I only said 5 things, they always tell me, son, I feel like you really understand what we need. Even though I didn't say anything, right? And I think it's because I was actively listening. I wasn't trying to impress them. And what I realized later on is when you go on a date or when you meet a salesperson or something like that, whenever that person is trying to impress you, you can kind of smell that mile away. And it just kind of turns you off, right? It's kind of whoa, what do you want from me, right? Something like that. But then when they're not impressing, then that's when I'm like, oh wow, this person really is not trying to impress me at all. And it actually draws me in more. Yeah.
And Craig, you know, one of my favorite taglines is to be more interested than interesting. And I live by that. And I actually, son, have a open-ended question template. 'Cause I think there's two objectives when we talk to people. I went from one of those assholes in my signature that was like top 10 Forbes speaker, top business coach, you know, and I joke around with people and they're like top 25 book ever. So, you know, you're like, mine says res ipsa loquitur, which is in Latin, that which speaks for itself. So if you think I'm a dick, I'm a dick. If you think I'm better than I am, then I'm better than I am. And I've had the wide spectrum of people and what they think, and what other people think of me is none of my business anymore. I'm just trying to get to two simple things. Hey, would it help you if I can get to that question? And the second question is, hey, do you know anyone that could help me? And all of the questions I ask are to get to those two questions. And if I can, then I'm creating a community of people like your Night Owl community that want to help each other and know people who can help each other. It's that simple in my mind. It's taken me years and years, because I promise you, the Dave Meltzer 17 years ago, the one that lost over $100 million, his karma, his coincidences, and his actions were equal to and aligned with that type of mindset. And yes, the humility seeps in when you realize, hey, I can only be me, and I can only do my best, learn lessons and have fun, and try to help as many people and ask them for help as well, which is very important. Son, what an honor it was to join you and Craig while he's launching his book. We're all reinventing ourselves every day. Please email me for a free book. It's cost me a fortune. It's worth it. David@dmeltzer.com. When the books are good, son, you can charge that much. I've been giving away my book for free forever, and everyone's like, you know, you get what you pay for. Yes, you get what you pay for. It's well worth it. Buy the reinvention formula. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations
Yeah.
on your book, by the way.
Thank you so much, brother. It was awesome to connect with you. Looking forward to doing more. And real quick before we hop off, what's the best way for Dave and I's audience and community to support you? Is there something specific you're very excited about right now?
Yeah, I'm right now, the only thing I'm focused on is growing my community and, you know, serving my community. So Night Owl Nation, that's where I'm putting, just like you're putting all your energy into Reinvent Your Formula right now. That's my thing.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Thank you both for stopping by Saturday. This conversation was awesome. Let's do some great things this weekend, guys, and look forward to connecting with both of you soon.
Son, I'll reach out
Thank
and have
you
you
so
on some of my shows as well. And say hi to all my friends. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. Great to see you, Craig. Take care.
Love you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Hell yeah, guys. And guys, if you want a free How to Reinvent Your Life toolkit, just comment the word book down below and we'll DM you one totally free. Just make sure that you check your messages. Sometimes it goes to the general messages. How to Reinvent Your Life toolkit, just comment the word book and we'll send it right over. Free. And if you guys haven't grabbed it yet, if you want to think and play bigger in life, if you want to pivot successfully, if you want to remove limitations, if you want to live the life of your dreams, including the career, the relationships, the money, and everything in between, the reinvention formula might be for you. I know what it feels like to know that I'm here for something much more and be unfulfilled and be miserable and then say, wait a minute, can I choose a different story? Can I invest in a different movie and then put it all together and take off? And so I just want to share that with the world. I believe that's my assignment right now. I haven't done everything right my whole life, not even close. But one thing that I did really right over the last 3 years is totally pivot, reinvent successfully. So just want to give it back to you guys. It's available anywhere you buy books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Comes out next week. Best place to get it is the reinventionformula.com. And then don't forget to input your confirmation number and you'll get a ton of bonuses and so forth. I love you guys so much. If you're not already following Son, absolutely do so. He's awesome. He's got great content. Big Dave, as always, love you. Thank you for doing life with me, guys. And if you want a free How to Reinvent Your Life toolkit, comment the word book below and we'll send it right over. I love you guys. Let's have an unbelievable weekend. Straight up. Think and play bigger. And oh, by the way, this just in. Playing small is canceled. Love you guys.